Hey guys, it's me Meteor. When it comes to Kirby, I have covered just about everything from established canon to common fan theories. Even still, I'm having trouble finding unique ideas to talk about. So today, we will be going a whole new direction. Why limit ourselves to official established worlds? Why, instead of fan theories, let's go one step further. Fanfiction! Thankfully, fanfiction.net has tons of quality fanfics to choose from, like Kirby Goes to School, Jigglypuff and Kirby Hang Out, and Kirby's Jammy Toast. Today, we'll be discussing a fanfic that really rocks, Kirby vs. Stone. Despite the name, the only reference to any stone is Taka facing Golem Sr. in Chapter 4. Perhaps it's a symbolic stone showing that sometimes friendship is like a stone, hard, but could potentially last eons. Regardless, this fanfic takes place in an alternate timeline of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, where the main Kirby ends up passing out for longer than the rest of the divided Kirbys. Unlike Amazing Mirror, however, there's more than just 4 Kirbys. The whole series tells us of 7 of them, each one with its own name. Yellow Kirby is known as Caddy, Red Kirby is Ryan, Purple Kirby is Grape, and Blue Kirby is known as Jessie. Including the main Kirby though, that only makes 5. The other 2 are more important characters. The first of which, a green Kirby named Talia, was the first to meet Kirby upon waking up. Judging by Kirby's reaction to discovering Talia was female, one may think Kirby may be based off the jerkish American-style Kirby from Avalanche, and also sexist. However, there is good evidence to show that Kirby in this universe is really what some would call a tsundere, someone who secretly likes someone but pretends to hate the person on the outside, afraid to speak their true feelings. First off, when getting a call by someone named Mystic, who we'll talk about later, Kirby proceeds to throw his cell phone about 4 times. One of these times, he threw it at Talia. Playful harm is a common trait of tsunderes. More importantly, in Chapter 2, Talia saves Kirby from falling into a pit after he was hit from a projectile by the enemies around it. This of course causes Talia to fall into the pit instead, ending up killing her. Once Kirby regains consciousness from the whole situation and finds out Talia has died, he vows to avenge her death and cries screaming her name, which he does in Chapter 3, brutally destroying any enemy that came his way. He even decides later in Chapter 4 to find Talia and revive her with a 1-up he obtained in Chapter 1, throwing his cell phone at what is presumed to be Shadow Kirby. Of course, some may wonder how Talia could have even died falling into a hole. Couldn't she float? On the contrary, apparently she was a bit dizzy as she fell into the hole. By the time she realized she was falling, it was too late, and she couldn't float out in time, thus hitting the ground. Kirby wasn't the only one upset by her death though. She was also good friends with the red and yellow Kirbys, who were even looking for her in Chapter 2. Sadly, they met up just in time to see her demise. Even having to witness it, they still had enough respect to wait with Kirby before he woke, to tell him and continue to travel with him through Chapter 3. Or so we think. We find out in Chapter 3 that the Ryan who traveled with us is really a gray Kirby with the power to shift colors. As we find out in Chapter 4, the real Ryan was locked in a jail cell after getting knocked out by the same Kirby in Chapter 2. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only problem. In Chapter 3, we discover in this universe, Darkmind is far fiercer than the one we know. In the games, Dark Meta Knight is probably the fiercest opponent Darkmind concocted. In this universe, Darkmind is so great, a powered-up Mr. Frosty can bring Kirby to his knees, so to speak. The battle against him was so fierce, Caddy ended up losing his life in the aftermath as well, leaving Kirby completely alone. Thankfully, just in time, he meets up with the purple and blue Kirbys, who help break the real Ryan out of jail. In Chapter 4, we also finally discover the identity of this one called Mystic, another female Kirby. She is really a light blue Kirby who specializes in the ninja ability, whom Ryan claims is prophesied to be the savior. What her history is, or what her future will be, is unknown, as the story ends here and has never been updated since 2007. Will it ever be updated again? We may never know. In the meantime, perhaps you can recommend another exciting fanfic. Who knows? I may cover it next time.